there's a loo on this floor. There's a picture of Bob Dylan in that poster over there because he once sang in this bar, folk club.
Wow.
So, and I know somebody in the audience who may be prepared to reveal she was actually here that night, but I'll leave it up to Kate to admit that.
I was here, I did see.
Yeah.
It's real.
So, we've got a fantastic lineup today, 2 featured readers, which I'm really looking forward to hearing. Neither of them have read as featured readers at Dodo before, Judy May, Kate B. Hall, and we're going to be here next after this show on the 20th of June, which is a Wednesday. There's quite a nice selection of books on sale, but one important thing to say is that we're lucky and we don't have to pay to hire this room, but the landlord asked if we could pass the bucket around like Macmillan nurses at every show, and so if you've got any spare change, if you could put it in this bucket at some point in the evening, afternoon. Hopefully we won't still be here in the evening. So we're going to start with some open mic readers, and I'm delighted that we've got quite a few. What I would suggest is you can read up to 3 poems, or if it's a very long one, use your discretion. I'm going to just start the afternoon with a couple of poems from my latest collection, The Ghost of Franz Kafka, which people tell me is something they quite like. And I thought there's a lot of quite deep political poetry in here, but I thought as it's a nice sunny afternoon, I'd start off with, or just do a couple of poems that sort of have a lighter touch to them. This one is, I moved down to the coast in the last few years, and the first time in my life I have a garden, so this is a poem about what a delight it is just to stand in your garden on a sunny afternoon and saw up some wood. Sawing wood. I'm sawing wood and humming a poem, while snails gather expectantly, wondering if sawdust might be tasty as it looks. I'm in the garden sawing wood, under a clear sky, while the elderflower tree bends inquiringly toward the noise, and the neighbour's doors stay shut. Keeping the morning to myself, I saw away contentedly, kerplunk goes another plank, and the secret slow worm wonders if it's safe to emerge. A poet sawing wood is not what he bought into when he chose this patch of earth. A poet sawing wood, humming a poem to himself, while all the gold-cawing world goes spinning round, and the chalky earth is firm for now, and the almost silence, almost sound. There's been a lot about a particular wedding in the papers recently, so I thought I'd do a poem about weddings. I was listening to the radio one afternoon, and there was a group of women discussing what they wore at their wedding, and some had gone down the traditional route of having a white gown with all the trimmings and so on. But this woman came on and said that she got married in Bermuda shorts and gold trainers. And I thought, oh, that sounds fantastic, and unfortunately there were no more details, so I thought I'd just have to fill in the rest of her life story by writing a poem called Someone Somewhere in Gold Trainers. She married in Bermuda shorts and gold trainers, after drinking all night with Cuban musicians. Then it was honeymoon time, 2 weeks in a van, Europe speeding by, mountains and lakes cupping the moon. They toured Africa, taught reading, writing, bareback riding. Children came along like buses, though never 3 at once. Summer tapped on the door, baubles hung at Christmas, snow melted beside ambitions. Dreams became muddy as cow pies, the Bermuda shorts hung out to dry. Still, there were nights of Cuban music, golden rum chasing the beat. It was memory time. Someone, somewhere, in gold trainers, turning the corner, pressing a doorbell, smiling into the surprise of a beautiful new friend. Right, well, on with the first of our open mic readers. I'd like to welcome Sue Johns.
Oh, well. I wasn't ready for that.
She's got a new pamphlet out by the local Rented, published by Palewell Press, and copies are available over there. And here she is.
So I'll do a couple of poems from said pamphlet. Most of the poems in this are on the subject of prostitution. And this is the title poem, Rented. Rented. That kiss was not the debutante's kiss, bought at De Beers, then deposited in the country pile. That kiss was certainly not the kiss purchased with ponies and funds in trust. That kiss was not the kiss in the back of the Daimler that was never a kiss, but something more urgent exchanged for a single note. That kiss, one of many kisses you will deliver in this stuccoed hallway, was the boyfriend experience. Your manly hands enfolding his face, your tongue at the back of his throat. Such a kiss, my dear, can only be rented. And this one is called The Emperor's Bed. My pillows are bitten by the chosen, the lotus-footed conveyed by eunuchs. Vermilion ink has recorded their cherry-lipped, pale-faced presence in a city where you are never alone. Those new moon virgins were gone before my dragon eyes opened, the silk already bloodless. Long before the sun echoed from the mirrors, the golden curtains have released their prisoners, all arched brows and dripping jade. With my sovereign at prayer, my coverlets lie pristine and waiting. My regal frame accepts the incense from the courtyard, a gift from an ancient cypress. My mahogany is mute and shining, built to take and give nothing away. And as I thought I was going to do 2 poems, but as Patric's allowing us to do 3, this is something I wrote this afternoon because I'm actually on my way after this to a poetry workshop. So this shouldn't be read out now. This should be workshopped, rewritten, and then read out. But see what you think of the first draft. And this is called Rezel Sheikh Khalil, after Glyn Maxwell. Something was done, and she ran from her home. She was glad she had gone, but she wouldn't return. It wasn't a game, and there's always a war between knowing her name and why she was there. With her pocket of stones and her bottles of water and anything sharp to cut through the wire, her tale was the tale of a small strip of land. If we lived in that land, then would we understand the anger of children who die for a cause? Her name was Reunion. She would not recoil from a border on fire on which she was aflame. Once I looked at her smile, I was never the same. Her head took the bullet that came from a sniper whose target was just a young girl. Her home was one room for 6 children and mother. Each Friday she'd gone to the fence with her brother. Something was done, and she ran from her home. She was glad she had gone, but she didn't return. It wasn't a game, and there's always a war between knowing her name and why she was there. Her family had begged, do not go on this day. She was 14 years old, she was 7 decades. She said she must go on the Yan and Madbar and would be on the march of return in Salah. I looked at her picture, I'm holding it still. I printed her picture to make her seem real. Her name was Reunion. She could never get in to that city of hers where she'd never been. The tyres are burning, they light up her smile, but very soon after she died like a child, with so much to live for and nothing at all. If you looked at her eyes, you would see that is all.
Are we supposed to do a 3rd one?
That was the third one.
That was it, you weren't counting.
Who's counting? No one's counting.
Right, I'd like to invite Joseph Healy.
Well, I've only got 1 poem to offer you, I'm afraid, but it's a little bit long. It's about the subject of emigration, familiar to many Irish people. And it's written about my home city of Dublin. There are just one or two Irish references in it I want to explain. Tirna Nog is a very ancient Irish legend about a land far to the west where there is eternal youth. And Fionn McCool is one of the famous warriors in Irish legend who's reputed to sleep in a cave under Dublin and to come back whenever Ireland is threatened, just to explain the references. Sleeping the sleep of the emigrant, sitting by the fire in the old house, my father waiting for me at the North Wall ferry port, going to the bars to see ex-lovers and friends, hearing the latest news and banter in the warm glow of recognition. Dinner in the little railway cottages of the North Strand, my mother still a distant presence whom my brothers speak of, like a banshee who cries in the night. How all have cars and cash, and why would anyone stay in London when Ireland is Tirna Nog? The old haunts not yet demolished with familiar byways, the crack in the pubs, where every second person writes a novel or recites a poem, and the spirit of Joyce and Behan still walk. Long before stags and hens laid waste the land. The rude awakening to the tortuous light of now. The grating voices and the arrogant swagger of business suits. No one waits at arrivals, and the sign to departures is always clear. The past is a foreign country, and dispatches to youth, to YouTube and photography, memories, where those like me may reminisce. The pubs are full of young strangers, and no one knows what happened to those who have fallen through the vortex of time. It is no country for old men, and families have grown and come and gone, the ghostly presence of a long-gone relative, a reminder of when youth and spring seemed all there was. Now and then a familiar face emerges from the fog of time, a memory of what has been and gone, joining the tourist throngs and seeing the city through tourist eyes. Fionn stands on the cliffs and gazes on a new-made world.
Okay, so we've moved